Welcome to Life in the God Lane. I'm Tom West, and this is a couple of power verses for the day for Thursday, June the 9th, 2022, and I call this Holy by Truth. It's from John 17 through 19. Now I hope you'll subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified every time I put a message out. I do at least one a day. And give me thumbs up, make comments, share this video with someone else. Do all you can to help me get it out to as many people as possible. All we do here is teach the Bible. Romans 3:23 says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." Doesn't matter how good you are, you're a sinner. All, meaning all people on earth and all who have occupied or all who will occupy the earth are sinners. And that includes you and me. We're all sinners. Hopefully you aren't a murderer or a rapist or something like that, but we're all sinners. God is holy and cannot and will not tolerate sinfulness in his presence. So how do we get holy enough to be in God's presence, which is where we want to be? So how do we get holy enough to do that? Look at John 17 through 19. Part of Jesus' high priestly prayer is what we call it. "Sanctify them by the truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, I have sent them into the world. For them I sanctify myself, that they too may be truly sanctified." This is part of that prayer that Jesus prayed for his disciples, and that includes us. And he asks the Father to sanctify the disciples by the truth. And then he affirms that God's word is truth. It's the source of truth. So what does it mean to sanctify? Sanctify means to be set apart for sacred use or to make holy. That's to sanctify. The truth makes us holy, and God's word is truth. So how does that work? Well, three critical issues emerge in verses 18 and 19. They're very, very important. Number one, God sent Jesus into the world, and Jesus sends disciples into the world. When being sent into the world, whether Jesus or his disciples, which you and I are today, it is essential to be holy, to be set apart for sacred use so that God can use us. And so that's why he made us holy, so he can use us. How does that work? Well, second thing, Jesus sanctified himself for us. Jesus made himself holy for us. How did he do that? Well, he did what no other man ever did. He made himself holy. He lived for 33 years without sin and established his own holiness. No one else ever did that. Only Jesus did that. Third, he sanctified himself, or he made himself holy so we can be holy. How does that work? That's interesting. He is the word that spoke creation into existence. Then he took on flesh in Jesus of Nazareth, lived for 33 years without sin. He is the source of all truth and the source of all holiness, because he's the only guy ever lived without sinning. And then he died on the cross to pay for our sin and was raised from the dead to defeat death forever and for good, thumping death. I say he beat death to death by being raised from the dead. Now we come to him in faith, and he gives us his holiness. He gives us his. It comes, he transfers it to our account. He is the truth. He is holiness, and he is the only source of holiness for us. The only place we can get it. The Christ follower is holy by the truth. Jesus, the Word made flesh. His holiness stands for you because he gives it to you, and he grants you access, his holiness, and he grants you access into the Father's presence for eternity. Rest in that. I'll talk to you tomorrow.